right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us once again for Ask a Superstar. This is your forum to get up close and personal with all your favorite stars, and we have one of them here with us this time out. Look, she's popular. She's, dare I say, beloved for quite some time. An award-winning actress, producer, fashion designer, model. You know her from the American Pie movies. You know her from American Beauty. You know her from so many different things, all the way leading up to what we're here to talk about this week. So many more in between. We're here to talk about Ick. We're here to talk about this new future classic, and we're here to talk to one of the stars that we love, Mena Suvari. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
That's awesome. And look, especially considering how crazy, how busy things are with the release of this horror comedy, as those in the know are calling it, Ick. Certainly seen by many already. It has to be an interesting time for you because I know this movie has been seen since last fall, right? At the Toronto Film Festival. It's been popping out. People have been giving it really positive buzz, but now it's what, 6 months later, even more, and we're finally getting out in the wild for the world to see. What is that like for you to kind of live through and experience, just kind of watching it build little by little?
It's really awesome. It's really exciting. I mean, I'm really honored to be a part of this film. Everything that I work on, I love. I call it my film fam. You know, you make really strong connections and you want people to see that work and you want them to experience it in the way that you did. And especially a film like this, you know, Joseph Kahn, he's an incredible creative. He's an awesome director and just a fantastic talent. His visual style is like no other. And I was really honored to be thought of by him, have the opportunity to work on the film. And then, you know, it was such a gift to be able to premiere in Toronto at Midnight Madness. That was fantastic. And then now to have the film play in theaters is really special because, you know, as we all know, the business has really morphed a lot, and that's really a gift nowadays. It's really special, and so I'm really excited that it's going to be in theaters. It's going to be there July 27, 28, and 29, and the more attendance we have and good response over that, we can be in the theaters longer. So it's something that is just really beautiful to experience and just an exciting moment. And I'm really happy for everyone. You know, everyone, our cast and crew worked really, really hard on this film. And they deserve this moment. And so I'm just excited for people to see it because it's definitely the type of film that can be completely enjoyed in the theater space on the big screen.
Yeah, and you know a little bit, you know a little something about playing characters, picking movies, picking roles that bring people out to the theaters. You've done it a time or two before. What was it about the character of Stacy that drew you to this role?
I think it was really overall just being thought of by Joseph that felt like an incredible honor, and because I'd always been a fan of his work and was pretty much on board just for that. And then I really liked the character. I felt like, you know, there's something like vicarious that I could live through her. Just the type of person she is. It was a lot of fun to play. I sort of refer to her as an opportunist. That's like the perfect description of her. She's like the popular girl, and she's involved with Brandon Routh's character, Hank, from the beginning. They're like high school sweethearts, but you quickly realize that Stacy's intentions were really clouded over by just what sort of future she feels like she could have with Hank. And then when she realizes that that's not going to be a reality for her, she quickly just like moves on to the next. and then you see her as her life is sort of on this incline. Hank's life is on this decline. And one moment with her new boyfriend, she's purchasing a pregnancy test, which then starts to create suspicions that, maybe she could have been pregnant while she was right before she dumped him. And that adds a lot to the story, as you'll see. But it's sort of like this small town America, and there's this ick that has been sort of creeping through the surface there, and it's been something that hasn't really posed a threat yet, and people are just sort of ignoring its existence. And Stacey's sort of that person. She's just kind of like, whatever benefits her, kind of half in the clouds of what the real, what her real, what is it like, effect is on others. And and then you see eventually what happens to her. But yeah, there's a lot of different. It's a horror comedy. There's a lot of really great deep metaphor within it as well. So it was just not only a really exciting film to be a part of, but very thoughtful film at the same time.
Thoughtful is a great word, because I think one of the things that people have spoken about most, those who have seen the movie already, is the incredible balancing act between comedy and horror, which is clearly something that is very difficult. We've seen many movies kind of fail in that regard. Very few kind of hit that perfect note that feels really balanced. As somebody who's been a part of great comedies, as somebody who's been a part of great horror movies and drama, from your perspective, what does it take, and how has this movie achieved that goal of being able to blend those two things together?
Well, that's very nice of you to say. I appreciate that. And I would agree. I think it's really just a testament to Joseph and his creativity, his mind, and also the incredible creatives that you have around you. One of the most memorable, awesome experiences that I had was filming some of these scenes. And one in particular, I remember we were shooting like a flashback scene of like prom, and Brandon and I are dancing, and and it's this huge scene, this huge moment, and we would shoot some of the scene, and then we would run all the way across the gymnasium to Chancellor, our editor.
Yeah.
And he would have it cut.
Wow.
And I'd never experienced anything like that in my life. It was like literally, I mean, it was just on like super speed.
Yeah.
It was incredible. You could perform it, and then he would have like this scene cut. This wasn't just like going and watching playback of a take. Yeah. It was like there. And I mean, these people, it's like genius in my mind. It was incredible to experience that. And it just makes me think of, again, the type of team that Joseph's really built around him to be able to do that, because you have to have such a seamless interaction. You have to have that that type of communication with one another. It's like, it's just like-minded. And I really feel like that's the reason, or one of the reasons at least, why it works in that way.
Yeah, unbelievable. And it sounds like an incredible vision that has come to life in truth to the vision that preceded it. It seems like it's all become this amazing thing that people are now going to get to see in wide release. And whether you're watching it as we are talking about it, as you are hearing us talk about it on the cusp of the wide release, or you're checking this out weeks or months down the road, it's going to be available for you to go watch. It feels like something that is going to be repeat viewing for fans of horror movies, of comedies, of just movies.
Yeah, and Joseph really built it that way. I know that he really structured it that way, and there's an incredible soundtrack as well that goes along with it. And I
Mhm.
know that he really wanted to cater to all generations. You know, it's the type of film that the younger generation can go and watch and experience the most exciting wild ride, and it has the effects, and it has all of that, uh, current vibe, and then at the same time it has so much that really caters to the older generation, to the parents.
Yeah.
It's the incredible soundtrack, like I said, and just having those flashback moments that are so iconic. That's what's really great about it, and I think that that also really lends itself to being that type of multi-viewing type of film.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you mentioned the soundtrack. We are going to talk about that in one moment, but as we know, this is Ask a Superstar, so we got absolutely flooded with questions for you, Mina, about
Okay.
all things Mina, the entire era of Mina in the entertainment world, top to bottom. Are you ready to tackle this?
Sure, I think so. I'm a
We're
little
gonna
nervous, but
we're
we'll
gonna
see.
try we're gonna try to rapid fire some of these, but I want to start with a
Okay.
question about Ick because look, my '90s heart loves this, and I didn't even realize this, but they'd like to know what went into the decision, and was it something that you were a part of to bring Wheatus to the soundtrack for Ick, Teenage Dirtbag? For those of us who know, if you know, you know, Loser, you and Jason Biggs, that song was a big part of that movie. So, was it an intentional decision to bring that to Ick? Just
Okay, I think I can't verify this, but I want to say that when this came up in conversation with Joseph, he was he was um he was truly surprised that I had a connection to that song. I'm not kidding you. And I remember thinking, like, you must have known that, right? Like, that's probably part of why you chose that song. And I genuinely think he did it. I think that that needs to be confirmed, but I
mm,
thought it was the funniest thing. It was definitely a funny moment. I think we were talking about that in Toronto because
oh,
I thought, oh, for sure, he must have. It's like this secret little like ode to that, secret little nod to that moment, and I think it was just like a popular song. It was like a popular song back then. Again, that was something really beautiful to be a part of. I don't think I remember shooting some of that, and I think what's funny now too is when people recently they were talking about how they thought forever that it was my voice that actually sang some of the vocals, and how shocking and surprising that was. And I remember thinking, I never even promoted that that was me. Like, but yeah, it's
yeah.
nice that song has really continued to have this incredible life of its own.
Yeah, it's a cool little Easter egg, even if an unintentional one.
Yeah, I know.
So, okay, we have to get to the American Pie movies. Now, this is a question I actually love for you because I know that I believe that you are a very cerebral performer. So, I want to know how much thought you've given to this. Do
Yeah.
you think in the American Pie world, are Heather and Oz still together to this day?
I'd
What
like to think so. Yeah.
do you have like a whole vision of where they are, what they're doing? Like, do you?
I think, I see a family. I think they need to be together. Most
Oh,
importantly, I think they need to be together.
I like that.
I think that would be um, a nice conclusion to them, a nice ending. Yeah, for sure.
I'd be shot by
Should we do
somebody.
like we should do a poll, like who wants it?
Yes. Or who else in the cast do they vet you? Do they want to shift you towards? If not, like, do we want to mix them up? This all leads to the question I have to ask you, or else I'll be shot by a drone or something. Is there any talk of a number five? Is
There's
there?
lots of talk. I am not always in those rooms, but from what I've heard and seen, I think that there are even trailers to this um, this next stage of American Pie that were just created by fans. And
Oh,
so I think that there's, yeah, a huge desire for it. I've heard so many different things. I'd love to be a part of it. I think it would be really exciting. And I think, yeah, people would be really receptive of this next step of American Pie. But yeah, I don't know anything completely official just
okay.
yet.
Fair enough. Okay, we're going to try to squeeze in a couple more. We know you're very tight on time. It's a busy week for you. Um, Kale Brecht would like to know, looking back, I'm going to try to summarize this a little bit. Kale had a lot to say. Looking back, American Beauty feels like a time capsule capturing the final moments of a certain kind of American suburbia and cultural innocence before everything changed. Um, do you feel like it was almost a farewell to a world we didn't know we were losing? If we didn't know we were losing it, in my mind, I'm thinking, how is it a farewell? But what say you?
Gee, that's an interesting question. I haven't looked at it that way, and I certainly didn't back then because I was so young and naive to the business to really even think that way about the film. Um, but I feel like everything's always relative in some way, and I think that it's not so much that that's an ending per se. I would want to say that these types of, I mean, it depends on what you're talking about, but I feel like these types of things are still happening in a way. It's just not in that way. I mean, because we're living in the age of instant information. You're living in the text age. You're living in the internet age. All of that stuff that we didn't have back then. But I don't think it necessarily changes the stories or the possibility of the stories. It's a really interesting question. I think that sort of question deserves like a panel. This
Yeah,
is like
I
a
think
real, a
or
real
or its own
conversation
episode.
on it. Yeah.
We may need to do a sequel here.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're gonna wrap it up here. This is a big one for you. Mena Girl for Life would like to know and clearly she's given this a lot of thought. With all the amazing work that you've done, now you go through the resume, it's like a fever dream. You have done everything imaginable, every type of role, every type of outlet. What's a project or a type of role that you've never done before but would still love to try your hand at?
This is great. And ironically enough, I'm actually starting a film the beginning of next month, and I play a very religious woman who's part of the Women of Temperance. And this is during the Prohibition era. And I've never worked on anything like that. And I'm really, really excited to take this on. It's based on a book called Beer Money about the Prohibition era in Iowa. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that a lot. I'm also attached to work on a film now that is a Western. And I've never done anything like that. And I really, really love this role. She's a very strong woman who basically goes out on a very big adventure to take care of her son. And these are the types of things that really resonate with me as a mother, but playing in that time period I've never done. And then it makes me think about, I've never really done anything sci-fi, which I think would be a lot of fun
Hmm.
as well.
Okay. A lot of horizons yet to conquer.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, that would be, yeah, the new frontiers in different respects.
I like it. I like it. Look, we're over time. We thank you so much for being generous for your time today. And thank you so much just for bringing everything to us over the course of your still very young career that you've done. Of course, Ick is out there, and we're going to be loving that for years and years until Ick 2. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
but
stop.
so, but yeah, people, check out Ick. check out everything that Mena does. She's got a lot more cool stuff coming your way, as she said. And we just had a great time talking to you. And
Thank you.
thank you so much to everybody for sending in some questions. Sorry we couldn't get to nearly all of them, but thank you for those who we were able to get to and everyone who submitted. And thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to us here on YouTube so that you can qualify to send in more questions for more of your favorite stars. And again, Mena Suvari, thank you so much for being a part.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And again, thank you to everybody who sent in the questions. It really means a lot.